It was good to get a W this past weekend, and I thought our guys did a really good job, especially being the circumstances of basically a sudden change for us. Us feeling like we were going to play App State, then that canceling, and then the next minute we're able to schedule UMass, which hats off to our administration and Jared and the president for making that happen. Also, a big thank you to Coach Bell and their administration at UMass, because I know they were excited to come play because of the work they had put in and the opportunity to opt back in and get to play. It was really awesome for everybody to be able to come together and make that happen. And I said it after the game, shout out to Eagle Nation for coming out, supporting us on short notice. It was definitely an awesome vibe, awesome atmosphere, and thought our guys played really well. We still got plenty of things we got to get better at, but I did feel like as a team we played well off of one another. And I think that showed obviously with the score and the defense being able to get a shutout, offense being able to put up points, and special teams really changing the field position. So, got a huge challenge this week. Probably the best team we've played so far. Watching them on film, very well coached, very well disciplined, explosive on offense, very sound on defense. So we got our work cut out for us. We got to make sure, they obviously going to have a couple more days preparation time on us than we have for them. But that's all good. I do think it was important that we played that game last week, so we were not sitting 3 weeks in between games. And, so we got back to work last night, and guys are getting off to a good start academically this week with the off day today. And we'll get back at it tomorrow on the practice field, and looking forward to a great contest with Coastal Carolina.
Hey, Coach, you talk about discipline, and is there something you can do to really sharpen the focus of guys? You've been talking to them all summer or most of the summer, and from August to this point, is there something that you can say to really bring them on point to go into a hostile stadium on Saturday and play a ranked team? Is there something that you can get across that'll maybe amp them up just the right way?
If I have to get them amped up for this week, we probably got issues. Our guys should be excited about playing this one. I truly believe Coastal Carolina feels like, they should have won the game last year. And I'm sure there's a huge chip on their shoulder to prove something to us. Obviously them being a ranked team, that should excite us. As far as the discipline piece goes, I think that's something that you just don't say. It's not just something that all right, we're going to be disciplined this week. I think it's I think this is on and off the field. I think accountability, holding guys accountable, holding yourself accountable. When we make mistakes at practice, which does happen because that's practice, making sure we're accountable for those mistakes and that we don't make the same mistakes twice. And then the big piece of being disciplined about not beating ourselves. I felt like our guys cleaned that up a little bit this past weekend. Really we only had 2 pre and post snap penalties, which is our goal every game. So we were able to get that done. We did turn the ball over one time, but I do think our defense did a tremendous job of coming back and getting 2 of them to get us to a +1 on the game. I just think discipline is something that is talked about and executed daily. And I think it's really huge to have the accountability piece. And, player-led is very important in that piece too, with the accountability, because if your peers are talking the same way, that really means a lot more.
Coach, the targeting call on Todd Bradley in the first quarter, what kind of explanation or clarification did you get on the sideline regarding that? Because the film looked in some ways inconclusive. I mean, the crown might have dropped a little bit, but what was the conversation like on the sideline about that call?
Well, the field crew did not make the call. It was buzzed down from the video review. And, basically the explanation I was given was he dropped his head. I have maybe a differing opinion on that. I think he did a really good job of, bringing his eyes up. If you watch it, the running back does start to drop his head. Todd is trying to be lower than him. I don't think there's anything intentional with his head dropping. I think he tried to execute a really good form tackle inside the box, which is what, you want inside the box. When you're out on the perimeter or you're a defenseless player, anything where, you take a shot at somebody's head or you duck your head on somebody, I'm totally against that. We just got to continue to talk to our guys about see what you hit, keep your eyes up. I hate it for the kid, excuse me, I should say young man. I hate it for him because, he's come back from a lot of adversity in his football career, and he didn't get to play a football game because of it. However, that's the rule, and that's what they saw, and that's the way it goes. And but I know there was nothing intentional from our guy, and I know there's nothing intentional from Todd. And I just told him, hey man, God's got a plan, and we'll go play the next game. And you need to be a good leader on the sideline, and make sure you continue to support your teammates. And he did a tremendous job in that area. So basically, that's all I know about it.
Coach asked earlier what a shutout does for a defense as compared to just, a regular dominant performance. To see a 0 on a scoreboard, how much confidence does that give your team? But he also mentioned we have to remain humble. We can't look too much into that. What does that say about the maturity of your team in this defense?
I think it says a lot. I mean, anytime you can shut a team out, I mean, that doesn't happen a whole lot in college football. And, obviously we had to have a little bit of help. They missed a field goal, and, Darryl Baker came up with a really big interception where there was a tight end that was open that could have been a touchdown. But you got to have a little bit of that, but you also got to have execution on defense. And I think our guys took a, challenge to that. And, there's so many things that, once you get a shutout, there's so many things that could go to your head and go, oh, now we have arrived. We're good enough and all that kind of stuff. But, I think the mindset of our guys, and I continue to hope this is the mindset of the guys, to never be complacent, always want more, and never think you're good enough, always trying to be better. I do like the mindset of our guys in that, because I do think they feel that way. I do think they're talking that way. We finally put a complete game together. But again, we need to be more consistent, and it can't be just one week we do it. We need to do this every week. So I think they're in a good place. They did a really good job last night of resetting, and I expect a really good practice on Tuesday.
Saturday was the first time all year you guys have won the turnover battle, and you mentioned on the Sunbelt teleconference a little bit earlier today that you guys haven't forced a whole lot of turnovers yet. It's only been 3 in the first 4 games. And against a team that doesn't turn it over very much as well, how can you put yourself in better position and create those opportunities going forward?
Well, we practice it every day, and we practice takeaways. We obviously practice ball security. We put a huge emphasis on it last week, and I think that paid off because we were able to get 2 interceptions. I'd really like to see us start to force some fumbles, get some balls on the ground for our guys to be able to recover. So we'll put another big emphasis on that today. Coastal is really good with the football, and we're going to have to be really good with the football. These types of games, turnovers matter, and it's always in our plan to win. That's our very first thing, to make sure we own the ball. And we're always striving to be +1, +2, or better. And, I think that's just something that we got to continue to emphasize and make sure we're practicing and not just talking about it.
Coach, are there any players that you're expecting back that we haven't gotten to see much this year? I'm thinking of Duncan, people like that. Is anybody due back soon?
Duncan's coming along. I don't know if he'll be available this weekend or not. It may be a little bit later in the season. We're going to, continue to work him a little bit, our training staff, possibly get him into a little bit of practicing this week. And If he looks good enough, then great. We'll try to get him out there. But I don't ever want to bring somebody back until they're fully ready, because you don't want to set back. And hopefully at some point we'll get him. I just don't know if it'll be this week.
Coach, this Thursday, I think, is the 3-year anniversary of you being promoted to the interim head coach back in 2017. I don't want you to get too, sentimental here, but where has this program grown the most, you think, from that day when you were told you're taking over to now getting ready to go play a nationally ranked team at 4-1?
I don't know if it's got a lot to do with me. I mean, it's, what we tried to do is we tried to bring some energy back into the program, bring some positivity into the program. Obviously, being able to go from a 2-10 to a 10-3 season, that brought back a lot of optimism. And then we weren't able to really get it done last year like I felt like our team was capable of doing. We had a lot of adversity, and we did overcome a lot of adversity last year, which record-wise is not good enough at Georgia Southern. But I do think the things that we learned from a 10-3 season to the season we had last year has become very invaluable for us as a football team. So I think the biggest place that we have improved is we don't blink. If there is any sign of adversity, which there always is going to be, but if, even if we don't play well and there's differing opinions out there about where our program is and what our program's doing, our kids never blink. They're always ready to try to get better the next day. I think I think that's the biggest thing, just the mental toughness piece of our program. I think that is what's really improved.
What would you say are the keys to victory on Saturday? Kind of like the pregame commentators always break it down to 2 or 3 things. I know it's a lot more than that, but what are some of the major keys for your side and things that you need to stop on the other side?
You can record this one because I will tell you this every single time. Number one, we got to own the ball. We got to try to be +1, +2 in the turnover takeaway battle. Number two, we got to dominate the run game. We got to be able to outrush our opponent. We're not very good if the other team establishes the run on us. So that we definitely got to do that. Number three, we got to play great special teams. I think you saw in this last game how much field position plays into it. UMass had a lot of difficult starting positions during the game, and it's very hard to establish a drive that long. And we have a weapon in Anthony Beck, and our punt team does a really good job of, getting ourselves in position if we don't go down and score, of trying to flip the field on people. So, winning that field position battle is going to be huge. Eagles don't beat Eagles. Number four, that's the area that we're harping on daily, because the first 3 games we have not been that way. We were a lot better this past week. And then last but not least, we want to finish. We got to always finish the game. We got to make sure we win that fourth quarter. The other piece to it is just we always talk about starting fast and finishing fast, but we've talked a little bit more with our guys about, trying to be the first team to score, but also trying to win the middle 8 in the game and then finishing the game. So, it always goes back to our plan to win. If we can do the 5 things that I gave you right there, that gives us a great opportunity to win. And, this past weekend we were able to get all 5 of ours, and we've been undefeated when we get all 5. So, if we can always get that accomplished, we got a great chance to win the ball game. The difficult part is Coastal Carolina is a very disciplined, well-coached football team. And you can tell that they've really grown together as a football team. So you're going to have 2 teams trying to battle and do the exact same thing type of stuff. And, and that's what makes these games interesting, and it makes them fun. And so, it'll be a great battle. It's definitely our biggest challenge this year, and we're looking forward to it. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all. GATA.